blind man cross the road, trying to make the other side, baby. Ever seen a young girl growing old, trying to make herself a bride? So what becomes of you, my love?
Now I am become death. The destroyer shall.
Pray that he's still out there, somewhere.
Well, good evening. It's wonderful to be back with you today. You know, we're in the United Kingdoms in the evening here. It's afternoon for you. Today, I am joined with my husband, Shane Knock. He is standing in because Dr. Pigeon has got a commitment that he booked 6 months ago. But it's a privilege to be with my husband and to share with you. We're really looking forward to this. And from the get-go, this is what I want to say to you. May the Father, may Yahuwah and Yahusha the Son come and shine his face and his countenance and his power upon you, give you peace and bless you. And it is our prayer that you move in the empowerment and the anointing of the Ruach HaKodesh, that the Spirit goes before you and you live in kingdom dynamic and you live in kingdom presence all the time. That is how we pray for you when we remember you. That is the purpose of these programs. So I have some exciting news for you. Come Friday, when Dr. Pigeon returns, we on Answers for Our Time this Friday are going to be going through with Scott Bennett, and that's Second Lieutenant Scott Bennett and Dr. Pigeon, the actual fraud that went through the elections 2 years ago. They're going to go pace by pace, paper by paper, through the conversations, through the evidence they have, and show you it from a biblical perspective to where we are today. So people in America, especially, you will really be interested in this. And then the following week, this is really exciting. We have Dr. Carrie Madej. She is going to be our special guest, along again with Dr. Stephen Pigeon and Second Lieutenant Scott Bennett. And we are going to go through, well, you can just see that is going to be explosive. So I'm giving you pre-warning about that. And we do have some other speakers that are yet to be confirmed, because we really want to invest into your lives, into your spirituality, so that when you leave here, you can authenticate with the word, but not only with the word, but having the physical, the history, the science, put it all together and speak as ambassadors for the kingdom. So that's what this is about today. Again, I just want to welcome you. And Shane, it's exciting to be here with you today as well. You know, he is my taskmaster, but not in a negative form whatsoever. I mean that in the form of a mentor, someone who says to me, you need to try harder, you need to pray harder, you need to read the word more. And then when I'm doing well, he'll say, now you're getting it, now you're doing that. And it's great that you can have that as a husband and wife type of relationship. And I know it comes in many different scenarios. So that's why it's nice to be able to work and serve with him today. But, you know, and we're going to, Shane, you come in and join me at any time. But this is where I really believe that we are right now. Prophetically, spiritually, in my spirit, I hear the echo of Yahuwah. I hear the echo of the Spirit saying, we need to redeem the time. We are living in a season that we must not take anything for granted, but we must redeem the time. Seek me while I may be found, right? You know that verse, but it is so relevant to each and every one of us, because there is coming a day, and we speak about it in every one of our programs on a Tuesday, the first, the second, the third, the fourth seals, and how famine is coming from the third and the fourth seals. You see these things happening. But listen, it's not only going to be a famine of food and a famine of water and of these material things, it will be a famine of the word as well. What happens when the bereshit, when the word is taken away from us? We have to have it inscribed on our heart. Seek ye me and ye shall live. We've got to be doing that inscription, that internalization now. And that is what I want to implore you with. That is why I'm saying we need to redeem the time and seek him whilst he must be found. That means that it is our responsibility, and you and I have to be ambassadors, but good stewards of the word, of the gospel. It has to be inscribed in us, on our lips, on our mouth, in our heart, in our spirit, in our mind, and everything comes into compliance of our spirit. We bring it into those borders, into that perspective. What is that doing? That is utilizing a grace that is available now, whilst it is here, because there is coming in a time when so much is going to be stripped from us. We're here now using electricity to broadcast on the broadband. But what happens when we don't have that anymore? Then we have to go into a different synchronization. But whilst we have technology, we have to use it. Seek me and ye shall find me. I shall be found. But we have to be alert and know when these things are going to change. And that's what a watchman does, standing on the walls. It looks at the horizon and makes the announcements and is one step ahead, because it is seeing from far off, and then it blows the shofar and it warns of impending danger. This has to be your prayer life. This has to be your call as a watchman. This has you as an intercessor. Listen, I'm speaking to all of you. Do you know what? You are radiant. You are the radiant, the steadfast, the fervent, fearless people, ecclesia of this time. You are a called out people. And I know many of you can identify with this, because you have had to come out painfully from your fellowships. You have had to stand alone. Some of you don't even have churches anymore, but you have house fellowships. Some of you have different scenarios, but you cannot stand where they're saying something that is contrary to the gospel, but it's a sweet 21st century gospel. And you no longer want that type of candy, because you want the truth. And so I see and I say to you that you are that radiant and that steadfast believer. All across the face of the earth, and those watching, I know that we are resonating with so many of you, because we will not stand in this hour for an uncompromised gospel anymore. What I'm saying to you is, you know what it means to count the cost, and you count that cost daily. You know, and I just want to raise you up, recognize you, say that you are called, you are affirmed, and you are anointed. So keep on keeping on. And as my husband would say, stand strong and look up. We are called as the assembly. We are called to be as one. But you know what the assembly means? It means that we take an offensive posture. Now, Shane used to be a fighter, a kickboxer fighter, stuntman. He worked with some great people that you might know, like he was a stunt double for Mel Gibson and in Mad Max 2. Is that right, Shane? Mad Max 2 or Mad Max 1? And also he fought against the world champion, Dolph Lundgren. He knows what it means to physically fight and get yourself prepared. Now, when you have a spouse, or you know someone who comes from that background, they don't allow you to become weak in your faith. So when you're attacked, when you see things happening all around of you, it's not woe is me, it's look up, deal with it as a warrior, deal with it with the sword in your hand and the word in the other. And that is what I'm wanting to say to you. You know, I'm a female, so I take that posture of everything is calm. But when it comes to my God, my Yahuwah, my Yahusha, and the Holy Spirit, I will fight and I will be on the offensive, because I see that we are in war and that this is warfare. Shane, would you like to add? And then I'll come back.
That's well said, Jesse. You know, we got some very special people here. It's always about you precious guys here. We got Tony Wright from Bodmin, Devon and Cornwall. Tony, so great to always see you. Brachon, Bettina and Tony. Yeah, it's so great to see these people. Gabriella from Finland. It really is. And this is why we do such a hard presentation. It is for you guys. You know, Jesse said really well. He said about a taskmaster. You know, yes, we all need an Egyptian taskmaster. That's what we must have. We must have someone cracking that whip on our behind saying, make bricks without straw. Yes. You know, in 1976, we all saw that great film, Rocky. There's one scene in there, Jesse, one scene that, you know, I think Tony Wright would really appreciate this, yeah? Okay. Rocky's down for the count. 1976, Rocky Balboa. All Rocky wants to do is just go the distance, just go 15 rounds with the world heavyweight champion Apollo Creed. That's all he wants to do. He doesn't want to win. He doesn't want any fame. He just wants to go the distance with the world champ. And he's down for the count. He gives his all. He gives every ounce of muscle and strength and sweat and guts that Rocky's got. But he's down. 2 rounds to go. He's down once. He's down twice for the count of 8. And then he's going to stay down. He's on his hands and knees. And everyone's yelling out, stay down, Rock. Stay down. It's over. But then all of a sudden, his taskmaster from the corner, this broken down pug of a man, 82 years old, called Mickey Burgess Meredith, one of the greatest acting scenes I've ever seen in my life, Jess.
Yeah.
Rocky's down for the count. If he stays down for 9, 10, he's out. But Mickey yells out, get up. Get up, you ugly bum. Get up. Run him over, Rock. And that's what we all need, guys. We all need a Mickey in our corner. When we're down and out for the count, and all we want to do is just stand firm and go the distance, but we can't find the strength, we can't find the healing, we can't find the motivation, we can't find like-minded spirits anywhere. All we're up against is the beast making war against the saints. We're seeing that believers, Christendom, making war against true believers. We're seeing apostates left, right, and center. All we need is one Mickey in our corner yelling out, run him over. Get up, Rock. Go for it. And that's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to go for it right to the very end. So I've got one thing to say to you guys. Get up, you ugly bum, and run him over. Run him over.
That's wonderful, Shane. You know, it is about getting up. That is the opposite of complacency. And that was my other point, Shane, about complacency.
That's right.
I am so frustrated today, to the point of wanting to cry, to the point of wanting to yell, you know, because I don't scream, but I could do a small screech. It's this indignation that I feel. We have been subjected, we still are subjected to the spirit of the Laodicean church, because they have been for the last 2.5 years inactive. They are still inactive today. This is my frustration.
Spewed out of the mouth of Yahushua.
Exactly. And they continue to sit to this day.
That's right, David. Endure to the end. Sorry, Jesse. Endure to the end. David Allen.
David, it's wonderful to see you here. He's from Australia, Shane. They stay increasingly in their complacency. All around us, complacency. That is the chief character, the chief attribute of the church, of the Laodicean church. They squander in themselves. You know what they're about? And this is what most of Christendom and other type of fellowships, I'm not only just picking on Christendom, it could be Torah as well. Different arguments about the moon, about this and that, different feasts. And if you go to Christendom, all they're interested in is preservation of selves, preservation of their ministry, how they're going to pack up their seats, how they're going to get the donations in, how they are going to have their picnic, how they are going to grow their church. Is that really for the growth of Yahushua, for the gospel, or so that they can say, we're filling out, we're great leaders? But are they actually meeting the needs of those precious people that are coming to them? Because those people are genuine and they're coming with needs. But if the leadership are not saying where they are and are giving them a sweet candy gospel, these precious people who do not know the word for themselves will be thinking, I'm okay. But that's where blood is on their hands. That's the Ezekiel 3. That's the Ezekiel 33. And that is my commission to you, that we have to be responsible, because judgment comes upon the house of God first.
Yes.
So we have to be in that position of fight, in that posture of taking responsibility, because there is a responsibility in this area. We are not lovers of ourselves and our own pleasures. It is of Yahuwah. That is who we put first. And we have to remember that daily. We have to remember that is what it means to take up your cross every day. We're not subscribing to the spirit of this age, to the wants and needs of ourselves. We do not thrive on a false gospel because we fear the judgment of God. And that is the distinction. They do not fear the judgment of God. They don't really truly know the fear of God. So the ecclesia is a very special branch. Religion is seated in pride. Yes,
Yeah.
David, you're so
Well said,
right.
David.
Religion is seated in pride. And in your own nation, what you are going through, Australia is one of the hardest nations right now. And Shane is a fellow Aussie. So we really feel that, not just because of that personal connection, but because we study and we see what's happening in Australia. Shane, let me hand over to you. I've got so many other points, but we'll batter and the pillar.
Yeah. Okay. Well said, Jesse. Don't stop doing this, yeah? Okay. There are, as we heard about the watchman, we have one job. It's not to stand here before you guys. It's not to patronize you. It's not to say things are going to be, we're not going to call out peace, peace, peace when there is no peace. Okay. You're watchmen. We're watchmen. We are watchmen together. You have to warn people of the impending danger. And that's what we do here. We speak the hard things. That's what Jeremiah did. He spoke the hard things of Elohim. Jeremiah was thrown into a dungeon, into the pit, because he spoke the hard things of Elohim. And that's what we got to do. We got to stand up and be counted. It's not a game. It's the last 7 years of mankind. If you are ever not going to stand up,
love our
then
Father
this
Yahuwah
is on.
first, then we are capable of loving everyone else. That's again from David Allen.
Yeah. Seek ye first the kingdom of Elohim, and all these things shall be given to you. You got to stand up. You got to stand up and warn the people, guys. You got to warn the people of the impending danger. And the impending danger is, you know what it is. It's the second seal, it's the third seal, it's the approaching fourth seal, 4 methods of death. Elohim's 4 sore judgments. So we got to speak the hard things of Elohim. You have to speak the hard things of Elohim. We share together. You put your messages up here. You put your input up here, and we'll read them out. Okay, that's what Gabriella does all the way from Finland. Okay, you put your input. You warn the people of the impending danger, and you have done a job of a watchman. Look, you never let go of hope. There's 2 types of people. You heard it last week. 2 types of genre. 2 types of people throughout the last 7 years of mankind. And if these years were not cut short, but for my elect shape, these days shall be shortened. It does indicate that the 7 years shall be shortened for your sake, for the elect's sake. We spoke about last week. Elect means chosen. It means selected. It means favorite. You are favorite of Yahuwah. You are the favorite of Yahuwah. That's what Elohim called David. He says, you are the apple of my eye.
Yeah.
David, my son, I take pleasure in you. I take pleasure in your fight. I take pleasure in your stand. You are the apple of my eye. That's what it means to be called the elect, that you are chosen, selected, favored, the apple of Yah's eyes.
Yeah. And David saying our Father's truth is hidden, is hated by the fallen world. And Shane, I'm going to give back to you, but I want to tie in with that, because I have written here that we live in a place where it's unclean lips all around us. We have unclean lips as well, and we have to come into that anointing. We have to come into that place where we say, Abba Father, I come before you and I empty myself, because we are amongst the people of unclean lips. And I'm saying that because of this fallen world that David and yourself have been speaking into. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because they reject me, I will reject them, being my priest. I don't want that reproach. I don't want that rebuke for you, for me.
Yes. Well said, Jesse. Well said. We give you hope, guys. The 5th seal, when the 5th seal comes, you know what it's about. It's when the beast makes war against the holy people. And I saw the souls of those who were beheaded for my name's sake laying under the altar, and they cried out to me, oh, Yahuwah, how long until you avenge our blood on those that dwell on the face of the earth? It's those that dwell on the face of the earth that martyred some of the holy people. And that's what Revelation 2 is about, the persecuted ones, some of the holy people. Now, when that happens, that's at a 3.5 year period. But there will be a remnant that will continue to stand for as long as he chooses, over your life. We have to speak the hard things, but we will always give hope. We'll never give false hope. Okay, so Job 5, and then we're going to look at Deagle. We're going to look at Deagle.com. We've got the information on a video for you, and it will run for about 4 minutes. But here's the hope we want to leave. When we speak the hard things of Elohim, I want you to know that you hold on. You hold on. It's up to Yah to choose the destiny of you and I. Job 5, he shall deliver you in 6 troubles. Yes, in 7, no evil shall touch you. There's your seals. There's your trumpets. Here's Yahuwah saying to his holy people, in 6 troubles, yea, in 7, no evil shall touch you. I shall deliver you. In famine, he shall redeem you from death. There's your 4th seal. And in war, from the power of the sword. There's your 4th seal and your 2nd seal. War. He was given a great sword.
That's wonderful.
And people killed one another. You shall be hidden from the scrounge of the tongue, verse 21. Hidden like Zephaniah. Zephaniah name in Hebrew means hidden in Yahuwah. He will hide you. It says here, you shall be hidden from the scrounge of the tongue, and you shall not be afraid of destruction when it comes. There's Abaddon. There's the 5th trumpet. Destruction. Abaddon. Destroyer. Apollyon. He shall deliver you in 6 troubles, yea, in 7. You shall laugh at destruction and famine, and you shall not be afraid of the beasts of the earth, plural, beasts of the earth. The Bible differentiates between the beasts of the field and the beasts of the earth. Revelation talks about 2 beasts on the earth, the beast of the earth and the beast of the sea. These are the beasts of the earth. You're going to laugh at them. As strange as that sounds, you're going to laugh and you're going to hold on. When the beast makes war against the holy people, you're going to hold on. You're going to laugh at destruction. You shall know that your tent is in peace. The 2nd seal, war. The rider is given a great sword to take peace from the earth. They're going to have their peace taken. But your tent, your home, your family, the family of the true believer, the family of the holy people, the family of the elect, the saints, those who may be dressed in fine white linen at some stage, your tent, your home, your family shall be in peace. All those that dwell on the face of the earth, the rider on the 2nd horse and the fiery red takes peace from the earth. And he was given a great sword. Your tent is in peace. You shall visit your habitation, your home, and find nothing amiss. Verse 27, behold, this we have searched out. It is true. Hear it. And know for yourself. Hear it. Search it out. Hear it. Know it for yourself. That's what Proverbs 25 verse 2 is all about. It's the glory of Elohim to conceal the matter, but it's the glory of his kings to search out this matter. It's his glory. It's not what he likes to do. It's not what he just does. It's not what I feel like doing. It's his glory to conceal a matter. What matter? 6 troubles. Yea, 7 troubles. Conceal the 7 seals. Conceal the 7 trumpets. Conceal the 7 vials. He conceals them, but his holy people, his kings, his priests, they search out this matter. Yeah. Yay! Hear it, believe it. Let's add one more to it. Live it. You have to excuse me, guys. I got the flu bad. I just got out of my sick bed, so I lose my voice very, very quickly. Jesse, hold on to your hope, guys. I want you to put on Deagle.
Okay.
We'll
and as I do,
4 minutes.
Yep, as I do that, Gabrielle, our wonderful moderator for today, put on Proverbs 1:32 from a viewer. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them.
Excellent. As Jess puts that on, I want you to look at the forecast.
Watching this video might not already be familiar with the information that I'm about to present. Because in the time that I was waking up, as we like to say, and researching this information, which goes back just over a decade. This was kind of like common knowledge, but I've been shopping it around recently, and a lot of people haven't heard of this. And what I'm talking about is Deagle.com. Now, Deagle.com, as the story goes, is a website that has been long since verified as an intelligence operation, a legitimate intelligence operation that's resourced by different governments and militaries. And it seems to specialize in information regarding like Air Force stuff and military aerospace and fighter jets and all types of things like that that are way outside of my area of expertise. All right, now what makes this website so famous to truthers or people in the know, or maybe I should say infamous, is something that they refer to as their forecasts. And I guess what they do is just, take a bunch of mathematical statistics from all types of political and mundane areas of everyday life and just all this metadata, and they crunch these numbers and they come up with forecasts for the world for every major country. And when I say forecast, I'm talking about like population growth, population density, GDP, resources, stuff like this. And somebody years ago brought it to everyone's attention that if you're to go to Deagle.com and look up their projections for the year 2025, that you will notice something really shocking and pretty scary. Let's just look at it together so you can see for yourself. Okay, so if you look here, you see the United States of America. This last projection is year 2017. Population is 327 million. And now I think we're still right around there. I think we're maybe at 328 million now or something like that. And some of these, density is 34 inhabitants per square mile. The gross domestic product is 19 trillion. GDP per capita 59. Budget is 6 trillion. Okay. And now you scroll over to forecast for 2025 and look at this. The population is now at 100 million from 327 million in 2017 to only 100 million in 2025. So you're talking about a third of the population. I'm sorry, you're talking about 2/3 of the population disappearing. And I say disappearing because, I think the first thing that comes to mind for us is some type of mass genocide or something. But without any further information, all we are seeing here is that the population is expected to decrease by 2/3. And look at some of these other numbers too. The GDP goes from 19 trillion in 2017 to only $2.4 trillion in 2025. And all these stats are really scary. I mean, the military budget goes from $637 billion to merely $32 billion. Now, again, I know for a lot of you, I'm not bringing any new information to the table with this one. But I haven't seen anybody revisit this topic for a while. And I think with everything that we're going through right now in 2020, it is pretty timely and it's pretty interesting to consider the timeline of what's happening right now with the projections of how this might play out over the next 5 years. And then you consider, we've been hearing about this Deagle.com report for years now. I'm talking, I first became privy to this in I think 2013, and at that time it was already kind of old news. So it must have been about a decade now that these numbers have been out there, maybe even longer, but at least dating back to 2013 or so. And one more thing on the topic of these forecasts. There's only one country that seems to be severely affected by this drastic population reduction, and that's the United States of America. So for my fellow American citizens, hold on and buckle up, because there's some people in high places that are anticipating some really dark days in our near future. So sit back and try to maintain whatever level of comfort that you can muster as we delve into this extremely uncomfortable topic of depopulation.
Okay, Jesse. 327 million people in the USA was the forecast, the projection from Deagle.com in 2017. And then in 2025, It goes from 327 million to 100 million. There's only 2 questions you need to ask. Why? And where have all the people gone? These are the people that work out, we spoke about it on Friday, these are the people that work out the projection, the forecast for the CIA and for the US government. We spoke about 82%, we've seen the intelligence papers, 82% of the citizens of the US, they want gone by 2025 with Agenda 2030. In Australia, David, they want 76% of our people gone. In the UK, where we live, they want 72% of the people gone by 2025. The only questions you have to ask is why and where have the people gone? And that's what the book of Revelations and for Ezra and the book of Enoch and Amos and Hosea and Ezekiel and Jeremiah and Isaiah all tell you, all show you that is the impending danger. This is what we have to blow the shofar about. It's not about grace and peace to you, brother Timothy, and salutations from Macedonia. It's all about blowing your shofar of the impending danger. Revelation 6, you know it inside out. Verse 3, when he opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature say, come and see. There's instruction, there's a command, come and see. The revelator has to do 2 things. He's got to open his eyes. He's got to take action. He can't sit back. He can't sit back. Oh, woe to you who are laid out on your couches in Zion. Woe to you, Amos says, who put off far the day of doom. The revelator can't do that. He's not stretched out on his couches of ivory, putting off the day of doom. The living creature's calling the revelator forward. Come on, John. Come on. Get up. Show us some action. Show the kingdom of heaven some action. Stand up. Make a call. Step forward. And then have eyes open to see. Verse 4. And another horse. There's your key word. Another horse. The first horse doesn't go out and then come back. And the second horse doesn't go out and come back, and so on. The 4 horses. Zechariah shows you what the 4 chariots, the 4 horses are. They are the 4 spirits, the 4 ruach of heaven. These are 4 destroying angels. When the first rider goes out, he stays out. When the second rider comes out, he joins them. When the third rider rides out, he joins the second and the first. When the fourth rider rides out, he joins the third, the second, and the first. They stay out there. And I saw another horse, fiery red, went out, bloodshed. And it was granted to the one who sat on it. Who granted him? Who granted this destroying angel? It was granted. You know who granted? Only one person, Yahuwah. Elohim the Father. Yahuwah granted this rider. This rider. Everything is in Yahuwah's hands. Everything. All your days, David says, all my days are counted. All my days are written in your book of days. Every breath you take. David says he calls the clouds over. He instructs the clouds to stop. He commands the clouds to rain. Then he pulls them back from whence they come. He calls the stars out by name at night. He says, Cyrus, come forth. He says, David, Bettina, come forth. He says, Gabriella, Tony, come forth. He calls the stars out by name at night. David even says in Psalms that he even commands, he even instructs the blades of grass to point this way and that. And you thought that was the southwesterly wind doing that. He even commands the blades of grass to point this way and that. That's his power. Everything is in his hand. Everything is in his hand. And he will hide his Zephaniahs. He will hide his hidden in Yahuwah. The true believer hidden in Yahuwah. And it was granted to the one who sat on it to take peace from the earth. So your habitation, your home, your family shall be in peace. You shall return to your tent and you shall find nothing missing. He takes peace from all those that dwell on the face of the earth, but to his true believers, for those that stand firm, for those that after doing all, just stand. After doing all, just stand. Get up. Run him over, rock. Stand.
Yeah.
To take peace for the earth, and that people should kill one another. And there was given to him, the rider, a great sword. Not a sword, a great sword. 327 million to 100 million. That's a great sword. 82% of the USA gone. That's a great sword. 76%, David, of Australia gone. That's a great sword. 72%, Tony, of the UK gone. That's a great sword. I have taken peace from the earth. Jeremiah 16, verse 5, part B. For I, Yahuwah, have taken peace away. For I have taken away my peace. My peace. I have taken away from this people my peace, says Yahuwah. I have taken away loving kindness. I have taken away mercies. Let's look at a few verses before and a few verses after. This is what happens when Yahuwah takes peace from off the earth. You have to know his footsteps. You have to know the footsteps of Yah. He says, do I not do anything and yet unless I first tell my servants, the prophets? That's the key word. His servants, the prophets. I do nothing unless I first tell my servants, the prophets. You got to know his next step. Jeremiah 16, verse 4. They shall die gruesome deaths. There's what Deagle just showed us. But we're giving you hope, guys. We're giving you hope. Amos 5, verse 4. Seek ye me, and ye shall live. Every week will say to you, there is no formula. There is no method. There is no man knowledge. There is no puffed up pride of Christendom that David spoke about. Seek ye me, and ye shall live. They shall die gruesome deaths. They shall not be lamented, nor shall they be buried, but they shall be like refuge, dung on the face of the earth. They shall be consumed by the sword, the second seal, and by the famine, the fourth seal. And their corpses shall be meat for the birds of heaven and for the beasts of the earth. They shall beasts of the sea and beasts of the earth. For thus says Yahuwah, do not enter the house of mourning, nor go to lament or bemourn them, for I have taken away my peace from this people, says Yahuwah. Loving kindness and mercy, I've taken it away. Both the great and the small shall die in this land. They shall not be buried, neither shall men lament for them. Verse 9, for thus says Yahuwah, Elohim of Israel, behold, I will cause to cease from this place before your eyes, and in your days, the voice of the myrrh and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride. There's Revelation 18:23. For the light of the lamp shall not shine in you anymore. For the voice of the bridegroom and the bride shall not be heard in you anymore. There's the very end of salvation. There's the very last breath. Revelation 18:23 is what Jeremiah 16 verse 9 is saying. There is the very last breath of being born again, spirit-filled. Revelation 18:23. For the great men of the earth, for the merchants of the earth, for by their pharmakia, all the nations of the earth, all the nations of the earth were deceived. And in them were found the blood, verse 25, and in them were found the blood of the prophets and the saints and those that dwell. For by their pharmakia, all the nations of the earth were deceived by the great men, the merchants. You know who they are. You know who they are. Let's go back a little bit. Jeremiah 14, Jeremiah 15. I'm going to read about 10 verses. We're giving you hope, guys. We're giving you hope. We just have a strange way of saying it. Jeremiah 14, verse 11. Then Yahuwah said to me, Jeremiah, do not pray. Do not pray. Do not pray. Do not pray. When have you heard Yahuwah say that? I'll tell you when. In the last 7 years of mankind, do not pray. Do not pray for this people. Do not pray for their good. When they fast, you heard Jesse say it before, I will not hear their cry. And when they offer burnt offerings and grain offerings, I would not accept them. We're talking about Laodicea. We're talking about the lukewarm. We're talking about those who are going to be spewed out of the mouth of Yahushua. We're talking about Christendom. We're talking about Torah. We're talking about anyone who is not a true believer. We're talking about the truth seekers. Anyone who is not a true believer. Anyone who is not seek ye me. Seek ye me.
Mm.
I will not accept them, but I will consume them by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence. There's the four sword judgments, pestilence, the fourth sword judgments of the fourth seal. Then I said, Jeremiah said, Yahuwah Elohim, behold, the prophets say to them, you shall not see the sword, nor shall you have famine. But I will give you assured peace in this place. That's what they're saying. That's what the hirelings are saying. That's what the foolish prophets are saying. That's what the false prophets, the elders, and the pastors are saying. That's why Yah calls them hirelings. Hirelings, religion for hire, hirelings.
Very good.
Wide is the path that leads to destruction, but narrow is the gate.
Yeah. Mm. You know, it says, can calamity come upon a nation unless Yah has decreed it? No, everything is by his hand. They may think, the evildoers, those who believe that they are controlling this world, that they are in control, but no, they are agents of Yahusha's hand, of Yahuwah's hand rather. Yahuwah decrees that calamity on a nation. He allows those powers of darkness to carry out wicked schemes. It is him who sends the delusion. It is him who puts these judgments on this reprobate, wicked nation that we are seeing unfold now. You just heard the first, the second, the third, the fourth seals, Ezra, Amos, all the prophetic books that have been brought out here. Yeah, you get these smart, farty people wanting to say, it's not biblical, it's not, and this is the church, this is Christendom, this is, you know, other type of believers saying this is, they'll put it down to woke, they'll put it down to climate change. How ridiculous is that? You know, it goes back to the point, Shane, that they do not fear God. And because they do not fear God, they allow destruction from their platform, from the place of their leadership into people's lives. And that is why blood will be on their hands. I just wanted to add that there. That is why it is repent, for the day of Yahuwah is at hand. I'm not saying it's imminent, but we're in that time frame, and that should be the message. Repent, not what is the next thing for my project to expand. Repent, for the day is near. Repent, for the day is near. And that draws it back to redeeming the time in this season.
Well said. Well said. You talked about Yahuwah sending strong delusion. He sends strong delusion to them for a reason. The reason is for they love not the truth.
Yeah.
Oh, they know the truth. These apostates, I'm speaking only about the apostates.
Yeah.
There are some good women and some good men out there in the assembly, in the congregation. There are a couple of good people standing up and calling out and warning of the impending danger.
Yes. Yeah.
For they love not the truth. So Yahuwah sends them strong delusion.
Yeah.
They know the truth, but they love not the truth.
Yes. And if they don't, Shane, if they don't speak because they love not the truth, then they are complicit. It is no good saying, oh, we know these things, we just don't say it. Then they are complicit because they're not standing up. There's a lack of fear of God, and you need that fear of God. Why? They don't want to be mocked. They don't want to be persecuted. They don't want to be scoffed or ridiculed, but they'll let you be scoffed, ridiculed, and persecuted as long as it's not near them. That is why it says, come out of her, my people, come out of Babylon. That is this insurgence that I was speaking about at the beginning of this program. That's what I want to get across to you. You know, where are the people that sigh and cry? Are you like David, Do you weep? Do you see those that are in leadership around you? This is a good way. Do they weep and mourn over the sins of the people in their community, in their nation, what's happening globally? Do you actually see that for what's happening in the church, what's happening in the faith community, what's happening in the nations and globally? Because, you know, David, he's a great example of this. Even through his own sin, when he lost his son and in other circumstances, he would dress himself in sackcloth and nothing else. He would tear that into two pieces. He would be on the floor, bowing down, kneeling down, and could do nothing else. And he would throw the ashes above him, over his shoulders and his head. He would do that because he was prepared to experience discomfort, and then he would get up, make himself strong, and go. But what I'm saying is, he lamented. There is power in lamenting, not just for your personal circumstances, but corporately, what we are seeing happening here. Because what affects us personally is what is out in that bigger world that we are part of. And that is where we are called to be salt and light. That is how we do it. We're not a lover of our own pleasures, but a lover of Elohim, a lover of the Father and his will to the very end on this earth. We don't entertain lawlessness. We don't entertain godlessness. We will deny ourselves for him. And that's what I'm saying to you. Everything that you're hearing here today is that. We are not in a posture of deception, but on the posture of offensive war and spiritual warfare. Why? Again, because we fear God. And that is a dangerous and powerful posture to be in.
You know, just before these input of the live chat move away, we've got to say it. Someone just put up there some wonderful, some profound statements up there talking about watchmen and watchwomen. Okay, I've just lost that one. Okay, full of his courage and his strength. Watchmen and watchwomen filled with his courage and his strength. That's right. And look at this. Many leaders actually join with them. That's what you were saying. Many visit the brothels and are joined to the porn portals of evil. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Tony Wright says we need to move out of our comfort zones, get angry with the unrighteous that's going on. Let's get out there and grab folks into the kingdom. Love not our life to death.
Yes. Yeah.
Well said, Tony. Very, very well said. You know, Jess, you mentioned about those sipping from the cup of Scarlet Woman. Yeah, sends them strong delusion, for they love not the truth. They know the truth. They're highly intelligent men and women, but they love not the truth. Something keeps them back. Something keeps them shackled, chained. What is that? They're highly intelligent people. They know the truth. How can you know this? It's the truth you know. It's the truth you know that sets you free. How can they not be set free? Because every Jesuit Sunday worship, they're sipping from the cup of the Scarlet One. They've all got on the same jeans. They're all wearing their Levi's 501 C3 pairs of Scarlet Woman denim. They're all allowing no one to stand up and say nothing contrary to public policy. 56 abominations of the 501. 56 abominations. Number one, it's a mind blower. Allow no one to say anything contrary to public policy. That means government agenda. Don't let anyone speak against government agenda. And you know what that's been for the past 2.5 years? Allow no one to speak against porn. What this live chat just talked about. Allow no one to have a conspiracy. Allow no one to speak. Number 14, allow no one to speak against the Jesuits. Allow no one to speak against the Freemasons. And my favorite of all time is abomination number 16. Allow no one to have any opinion over anything.
Yeah.
That's actually abomination number 16. They're all wearing the same jeans, guys. That's what's keeping them back. That's what keeping them down. And every Jesuit Sunday worship, they're still betraying their Messiah for 30 pieces of silver all over again.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Jeremiah 14. Let's finish this off. Against these people, against these apostates. Jeremiah 14. And Yahuwah said to me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. I have not sent them. I have not commanded them, nor spoken to them. They prophesy to you a false vision, divination, and a worthless thing. In the deceit of their heart, they are prophesying peace, peace and safety in a time of destruction upon destruction. They're saying, get this, get the snake bite, and everything will be hunky-dory. Just stand 6 feet apart, and everything will be hunky-dory. Therefore, thus says Yahuwah concerning these prophets who prophesy in my name, whom I did not send, and who say, sword and famine shall not be in this land. By sword and famine, those prophets shall be consumed. By sword and famine, those prophets shall be consumed. That's what Yahuwah says in verse 15.
Wow.
15:2. And it shall be if they say to you, oh, Jeremiah, where shall we go? If these false prophets, these prophesying lies, saying peace and say, oh, where shall we go? Hey, Tony, hey, Stephen, hey, Jesse, where shall we go? Where shall we go? Then you shall tell them, thus says Yahuwah, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for captivity to the captivity. That's where they'll go.
Mm-hmm.
You heard Jesse say, for judgment begins at the house of Elohim first. Yahuwah just cements that twice. Begins and first. Begins and first. And that's what Ezekiel 8, 9, and 10 is about. Start here. Start here to the 6 destroying angels. Start here at my temple.
Yeah.
Start here. Destroy small and great. And start here. Hey, destroying angels. Hey, 4 ruachs of heaven. Start here. Start here at my temple, for judgment begins first at the house of God.
Absolutely. And I wrote in my notes, Shane, we haven't consulted. We've been in 2 separate areas just getting prepared for today. Ezekiel 9, Yahuwah sent a messenger. He put a mark and a seal on the foreheads and cries for the abomination. That means weeping, what I was talking about. In that case, it was weeping for the sins of Jerusalem. You know, they will not be touched by the coming judgment. That's what that's saying. I want to read it to you.
Yeah.
He cried, Ezekiel 9, he cried also in my ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city, so those who are responsible, to draw near.
Destroying angels.
Sorry?
The destroying angels. Go on, Jess.
Destroying angels, great. Every man who was destroying weapon in his hand. And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lies towards the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand. And one man among them was clothed with linen and a writer's inkhorn in his hand. Now that's important. And they went and stood beside the brazen altar, and the glory of Elohai of Israel had gone up. And he called in the man clothed with linen and had the writer's inkhorn in his side. And Yahuwah said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a tav upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. That's what we're speaking about. And to the others he said, in my hearing,
hold it right there, Jess. These aren't men building a big church. These aren't men going out, handing out chocolates at Christmas time. These are men, neither male nor female, men who sigh and cry for the abominations. That's it. End of story. Full stop. That's who gets the seal of Elohim on your forehead. Those that sigh and cry for the abominations of the land.
That's right. That's wonderful, Shane. You've said it in one. And then the others, he said, in my hearing, go after them through the city and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have pity on slay utterly young and old, both males and female children, women. But come not near my men who have the tav, and begin at the sanctuary,
Still
which is what Shane
elegant.
was saying. And they began at the ancient men where were before in the house. They began at the ancient men. Judgment comes at the house.
That's
I can't
right.
see that because of the
Start
lighting.
here at my temple first.
That's it.
That's what my version says, Jesse. Start here. Hey, destroying angel, start here at my temple first. Look at this live chat. Look at these people putting input up here. We got a couple of minutes left, Jess. Let's just finish this off. Jeremiah 15, verse 3. And I will appoint over them 4 forms of destruction, says Yahuwah. The sword to slay, the dogs to drag, the birds of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. You have forsaken me, says Yahuwah. You have gone backwards. Therefore, I will stretch out my hand against you and destroy you. I am wary of relenting, and I will winnow, verse 7, and I will winnow them with a winnowing fan in the gates of the land. I will bereave them of children. I will destroy my people, since they do not return from their ways. Their widows will be increased to me more than the sand of the seas. I will bring against them, against the mother of the young men, a plunderer at noonday. Remember that name? A plunderer at noonday. I will cause anguish and terror to fall on them suddenly. When they say peace and safety, sudden destruction, plunderer, waster, spoiler, winnower, Apollyon, Abaddon, suddenly. That's what's going to happen. We've got about 1 minute left, Jesse, yeah?
Yeah, right. 57, so no more than 1 minute, yeah.
People stand. You stand, and you stand, and you stand. You warn everyone that you can of the impending danger. And after doing all, you precious ones, you stand firm. You stand firm.
So look up, seize this season, redeem this time, and be in your offensive warfare position. We will see you on Friday. Don't forget Dr. Carrie Madej with Scott Bennett and Dr. Stephen Pigeon on the 1st of July. That's going to be really explosive. So we will see you then. Take care.
Two people laughed. Two people cried. Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Ever seen a blind man cross the road, trying to make the other side, baby? Ever seen a young girl growing old, trying to make herself a bride? So what becomes of you, my love?
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Pray that he's still out there. Somewhere.
We are richly blessed to bring you what we believe is the fullest, most diverse, yet up-to-date progressive teachings, discussion, and prayer programming you can find anywhere on this planet. Be sure to take the tour of the MessianicLambRadio.com website. I'm Susan Hoogie, thanking you for joining us on the Messianic Lamb Video Network.